Good afternoon and welcome. I'm your host Jack Eberly here to kick off our newest show, Comp Center. This is our very first episode and we're glad you could join us. Here on Comp Center we cover various types of literature, but today we'll focus on the book Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman. Now, before we get into more details, let's take you through a quick recap of the book. Let's just take a background look at this book. First off, it was released in 1985 and unsuccessfully sold 200,000 copies around the world, not many compared to other bestsellers. It was translated into 8 different languages, and it was re-released by Neil Postman's son as a 20th anniversary edition in 2005. Now it's recap time. Neil Postman wrote Amusing Ourselves to Death to write about the overall changing culture in communication.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
He discussed the impact of television and the so-called show business attitude. He argued that television news programming cannot be taken seriously due to theme music, commercials, and sometimes even makeup.
Nightly News begins now. From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Also, he feels politics are based more on appearance of a candidate as opposed to ideas.
There's a job to do, you got to do it yourself.
Here at Comp Center, we like to develop relationships with the authors we cover. One of our anchors, Jelani Witzy, had the chance to know Neil Postman over the years. So right now, we're going to talk to Jelani to get some input. So Jelani, what can you tell us about Neil Postman?
My friend Neil Postman was born in 1931 and was an American critic and educator. Neil received his bachelor's from the State University of New York at Fredonia and his master's in education from Columbia University. He was the Paulette Goddard Chair of Media Ecology at New York University and chair of the Department of Culture and Communication. His scholarly interests included media and education and can be seen in many of his 17 books, including Amusing Ourselves to Death, Conscientious Objections, and The End of Education. Sadly, my friend passed in 2003 due to lung cancer.
Thank you very much, Jelani. Always doing a great job. So hopefully you understand a little bit about the background of both the book and Neil Postman as an author. And so now that you know more, we're going to show you a quick trailer from our friends at PBS. Let's take a look.
When I hear people talk about the information superhighway, it will become possible to shop at home and bank at home, get your texts at home and get entertainment at home and so on. I often wonder if this doesn't signify the end of any meaningful community life. Reading is no longer a central fact in the symbolic environment of Americans. They can pursue their religion, they can pursue their politics, their education, and their commerce, as well as public information via the television set, without reference to almost any other medium.
Okay, so now we've covered background on the book, introduced you to the author, and shown you a trailer from PBS. But knowing background on the books is only half the battle. So right now we're going to talk to Jelani again to discuss some themes in the book.
In the novel Amusing Ourselves to Death, media is the primary theme. The reader could argue that media as a general theme is more important to the book than television itself. The book is centered on an examination of television. Postman's major point seems to be that we must understand the way media informs our public discourse. Another theme in the novel Amusing Ourselves to Death is religion. Even before the chapter largely devoted to religious discourse in the age of television, Postman employs multiple examples of religious degradation in his contemporary world. Postman clearly respects religion as an important facet of human history and civilization.
I'm not here to tell you about Jesus. You already know about Jesus. Either he lives in your heart or he doesn't.
I always find solace in the airtight logic of religion.
I'm a man of faith, George. I've seen people come back from the brink of death.
His fear is that the discourse inspired by television has created an era of image politics, in which we not only do not vote for our candidate who best represents us, but we also lack any idea of what those candidates actually stand for. Instead, television turns candidates into images into which we pour our fears, so that the important discourse of politics never even takes place.
Man, excitement was running high. The president's in the neighborhood.
President Barack Obama entering the arena.
Okay, so that just about does it for all the concepts covered in Amusing Ourselves to Death. But before we get into the concluding segment of our show, we want to share a review of the book live from one of our experts.
Neil Postman is a cultural critic who worked at New York University. Postman was very knowledgeable, and in addition, his credentials made his writing more credible in his well-known book, Amusing Ourselves to Death. Postman's writing serves as a reminder to us all on how much the media we use on a regular basis affects our thought pattern. Postman's main concern throughout is the effect of television on public discourse. It is not the entertainment value of television that concerns him as much as the evaluation of television as a primary conveyor of our information and what is considered the truth.
Well, it's just about time for everyone's favorite part of the show, the Comm Center Top 10. This time, we'll do quotes. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, we'll move ahead in our coverage, and we're only going to cover 5 quotes. But just the same, time for some top 5.
At number 5, we have a quote from page 127. If politics were like a sporting event, there would be several virtues to attach to its name: clarity, honesty, and excellence.
People of Kentucky, you deserve complete honesty. So here it is. I don't care about you. Unless you are a donor or a lobbyist who can write a big fat check, the results that you get from voting for me, it's negligible.
At number 4, we have a quote from page 117. The first is that on television, religion, like everything else, is presented quite simply and without apology as an entertainment.
Soccer had become Brazil's religion.
In Colombia, soccer was a religion.
From page 68, we have quote 3. How often does it occur that info provided to you on morning radio or television or in the morning newspaper causes you to alter your plan for the day or to take some action you would not otherwise have taken?
From NBC News, this is Today.
From ABC News, live in Times Square, Monday, March 17th, 2014. This is Good Morning America.
At number 2 from page 35. Thomas Paine's Common Sense, published on January 10th, 1776, sold more than 100,000 copies by March of the same year. The only communication event that could produce such collective attention in today's America is the Super Bowl.
The New England Patriots are on to a celebration. A 4th Lombardi trophy is headed to one Patriot place. Tom Brady is a 3-time Super Bowl MVP.
Coming in at number 1, we have a quote from page 3. Today we must look to the city of Las Vegas, Nevada as a metaphor of our national character and aspiration. It symbols a 30-foot-high cardboard picture of a slot machine and a chorus girl. For Las Vegas is a city entirely devoted to the idea of entertainment.
What am I going to do about money?
Wow, you're just realizing that right now?
doesn't even deserve me.
You know what's gonna make you feel better?
What?
Where's the one place where you can step up and be a man?
Community college?
Where can you go where you can forget all your troubles and act like a total idiot?
Vegas?
Vegas!
Vegas!